Don't need big brother to wipe my ass. No Ted Kennedy spill my glass. Not so shocking is a racer's life. The whole damn world can kiss my ass. I don't need nobody to hold my hand. I don't need nobody I can stand. Make my own way in a rock and roll band. Kiss my ass, I'm an American. Don't need no hippies to ban my gun. Don't need no commies, no melted tongue. Rugged independence is a lot of fun. I laugh so hard when I see them run. I don't need nobody to hold my hand. I don't need nobody I can stand. Make my own way in a rock and roll band. Don't you think we're taxed enough? Maybe it's time I call your bluff. Pimps and whores, welfare brats. Too much government, way too fast. Big brother to wipe my ass. No Ted Kennedy spill my glass. Not so shocking is a racer's life. The whole damn world can kiss my ass. I don't need nobody to hold my hand. I don't need nobody I can stand. Make my own way in a rock and roll band. Kiss my ass, I'm an American. Don't need no hippies to ban my gun. Don't need no commies, no melted tongue. Rugged independence is a lot of fun. I laugh so hard when I see them run. I don't need nobody to hold my hand. I don't need nobody I can stand. Make my own way in a rock and roll band. Don't you think we're taxed enough? Maybe it's time I call your bluff. Pimps and whores, welfare brats. Too much government, way too fast. I'm gonna wipe my ass. No Ted Kennedy spill my glass. Not so shocking is a racer's life. The whole damn world can kiss my ass. I don't need nobody to hold my hand. I don't need nobody I can stand. Make my own way in a rock and roll band. Kiss my ass, I'm an American. Don't need no hippies to ban my gun. Don't need no commies, no melted tongue. Rugged independence is a lot of fun. I laugh so hard when I see them run. I don't need nobody to hold my hand. I don't need nobody I can stand. Make my own way in a rock and roll band. Don't you think we're taxed enough? Maybe it's time I call your bluff. Pimps and whores, welfare brats. Too much government, way too fast.
Ted Nugent, where's Ted Nugent? Where's Ted? Huh? Look at you. You doing well? You are a handsome devil. Thank you. Great job, Ted. Thank you very much. Appreciate you being here.
And now, it's time for Ted Nugent's Spirit Campfire with John Brenkus. It's the physics of spirituality with attitude. Brought to you by My Pillow.
Wow.
I had to get it out of my system. All right, Brenkus, there's no way you're ready. By the way, welcome back, John Brenkus and Courtney, everybody. You might have missed my intro and my promotion just a moment ago, but I thought a fascinating way to start out the Ted Nugent Spirit Campfire on the 19th of April, 2021, is to announce officially right here, right now, to you, John and Courtney and Herbert, everybody, my name is Ted Nugent, and you can hear all this outrageous fluiness. I've been gobbing out swamps. I can't believe some T-Rex hasn't emerged from some of the snot that I've spit out this afternoon. But I, Ted Nugent, not only am sicker than a dog, but I was tested positive for COVID-19 this afternoon. How y'all doing? How are y'all doing?
Wow, I didn't know that. I know you had a little bit of a runny nose, but now you
Oh man, I'll tell you.
Finally got you.
I've been around a long time, 72.4 years to be exact, and it's been quite an adventure, and I'm not even warmed up yet. I qualify as Lewis Clark and a whole gaggle of Sacagaweas, but I have never been so sick in all my life. I can't even believe I'm here doing this, but the adrenaline obviously has a life and a power of its own. But I could barely crawl out of bed, and I'm not looking for sympathy. I'm just trying to share a medical emergency during a global medical emergency and what the Nugent tribe, what this guitar player is doing to counterpunch a COVID-19 positive test this afternoon. And it's going to be willpower, because here, and I don't mean to monologue here, Brenkus, but you'll appreciate this. And I'm going to cut you loose in a second here because I want the Brenkus take on this.
Yes.
So the doc says, well, have you been tested for COVID? I went, no, I don't like people shoving sticks up my nose. He goes, well, you got really terrible symptoms. And in this day and age, I would highly recommend you go ahead and get tested. So I said, bear with me, doc, because I'm just a guitar player. But let's say I'm positive. What will your procedures be different if I'm positive versus if I'm negative? And he paused, and I said, you're a doctor, you know the answer to that, but you know how stupid the answer is. So if I'm positive, the procedure is X. If I'm negative, the procedure is X. So I said, why in the hell would you waste your time getting the test? And then the conversation continued, and Brenkus, I'm going to cut you loose because I can't wait to hear your take on this. So after that profound exchange, I said, so there's no difference between positive and negative procedure. That's fascinating, but you say it's good to know. What would be the good from knowing? If there's nothing you can do, I have a pen and paper here. You say it's good to know. The first good thing would be, I'm waiting. There is no good to know. Why do you, if there's not a damn thing you can do, it's not good to know. It's a probe, and 99 point whatever percentage of survival rate is, and obviously I'm in the demographic category that is highly susceptible to the Chinese virus. Here I am, cocked, locked, and ready to rock the clock around the clock, Doc. I came back from this most wonderful event in Naples, Florida, just an outrageous get-together, and then the week before, the big gaggle of humanity at my auction, then a big jam session with John and Johnny and Calvin at Tucker Hall. So I move, and I go to the restaurant, and I don't wear a mask, and I run around. But the people who don't go out, people that do isolate and quarantine themselves, they do wear a mask, they do get the vaccine, and they're in the same shape that I'm in. So, Brenkus, let me hear your take on that. Is John's mic off? I think John's mic is off because I see those pretty lips moving, but I'm not hearing nothing.
All right, I'm gonna give it to you straight.
Gotcha. I gotcha.
All right, I'm going to give it to you straight. I'm going to give you the first of all, what question do you want me to answer? Because there is a lot in there.
Well, there's two of them, and the doctor wasn't able to answer it. What's the difference between being positive test and a negative test? There is no difference. They don't do anything different.
Here is one of the things. Here's one of the things I just wanted to bring up top of the show, and I'm going to answer this for you. Look at this. All right. So
yes, I know.
Here we go. Look at this. This says right here, Stanford study results. Face masks are ineffective to block transmission of COVID-19 and actually can cause health deterioration and premature death.
But see, John, we all know that. This is one example of information from qualified medical professionals that contradict another government of so-called medical professionals. I think we all know the conflict and the counter punching and the hypocrisy and the duplicity and they cut each other off.
I always like to let my actions speak louder than words, and I'm just going to tell you this. Look, I understand the reason why Doc is saying, hey, you got to get tested for COVID-19 is because this COVID thing that's going around seems to have an effect on people. And if you only have the common cold, you're probably going to be slightly less precautious than if you have COVID, because the common cold is not, is not killing people and COVID is. So you should probably know, just for everybody else's sake and those who are in high risk groups. So that's what the doctor's probably getting at. But this is what I'm gonna say. I like, honest to God in heaven, I believe this wholeheartedly. I feel like humanity forgot, I don't know how, but they forgot that getting sick is part of the deal of living.
Yes. Oh.
Just part of the deal. It's just like, look, the reason, and it's almost like people forgot that at work you were issued sick days, and that's because they expected you to get sick, and so everybody gets sick. Now, I'm not minimizing the effects of COVID,
of course,
but the quarantining and the staying away from people, etc. I'll tell you what. When I had the flu, there used to be a thing called the flu that seems to have evaporated. When I had the flu, you know what my wife did? Lizzie would put me in a bedroom by myself, AKA quarantining, and tell me to not be around anybody until I felt better. And it was probably a week later. And I would just lay in my room and I wouldn't go around people because I was sick. And you just kind of used your head and you're like, well, gee, should I be traveling when I'm sick? No, I might throw up on the plane. I might get other people sick. And I just don't feel well. So if you're sick, we all need to remember that we used to get sick. We still are going to get sick. We're going to continue to get sick. And unfortunately, here's the kicker. I ask everybody in different populations, meaning in your own little tribe, how many people have died from anything, not just COVID, from anything. And when the answer is, you know what, about the same amount of people who died 2 years ago, 3 years ago, or whenever. People die all the time from the craziest things. And the fact that we are weighting COVID disproportionately to falling downstairs, getting in a car accident, drowning, like whatever it is, like we seem to have more concern and more sympathy to someone who died from COVID when there are all the other reasons, all the other reasons combined add up to a much bigger number than COVID, no matter what you think the number is. So,
ditto.
Right? Don't you think that listen, we need to realize we get sick, and I'm not minimizing COVID. COVID exists. People are dying from COVID. It's terrible. But if you're sick or if you test positive for COVID and you stay away from people, that's what we used to do. Sure. Anyway.
Common sense, true logic, and common sense. So yeah. So I'm sicker than a dog. You can tell that I remain rather buoyant. And not only that, once I start playing guitar, get on here with you, and I'm going to raise some fun hell, the fifth spirituality with the beatitude attitude. My adrenaline fact better than any remedy any medical expert could ever possibly offer me.
Yeah.
So I'm smart. I'm drinking some herb tea and with some honey, and Shemaine's been keeping me fed with good stuff. And I think the most important celebration here is the 72.4 years clean and sober. The indicators of the danger level from COVID or for flu or anything, I don't qualify in any of the categories. Obesity is number one suicide, a horrible diet, drugs, alcohol, smoking. People are still smoking, but they put a mask on in between cigarettes. I mean, you just gotta be kidding me. So bottom line is, John, I missed you last week. We had just a wonderful celebration. I went completely off the chart because I was surrounded by so many thousands of conservative people that landed at Alfie Oaks Sea to Table Brenkus. We got to go there. I'm telling you. The entrepreneur American culinary dream. I also celebrate a few things here right now. Make sure that everybody knows I'm maintaining my priorities. I want to promote on every Spirit Campfire a miracle creating organization called FullCircleProgram.com. FullCircleProgram.com. It was created by some people that went down a bad path in life and became addicted and lost contact with their families. But they were the people in the arena. They stumbled, but they got back up and created this rehab center that I've gotten testimonial from people that have saved their lives, and it's created an army, John, of young people that fell into the terrible stake of substance abuse, and they're now creating an army to reach out to their peers. So without government and without official badwares, it's just shit kickers helping shit kickers who stumble life. I want people to write it down. FullCircleProgram.com. And I also want everybody to know that as cancel culture attacks the best of us, as the Marxists and the hate-filled, lying, mean media attacks the best of us, the best example of that, other than myself, with cancel culture, which is what they've been trying to do to Mike Lindell, and they succeeded, except for one big counterpunch, and that's that good Americans saw what was happening to Mike Lindell, and now worshiping him by buying his quality products. My Pillow are world-class quality products, and if you go to their website, mypillow.com, and there's so much to talk about, John, with the new speech.com. I mean frankspeech.com. That's the first celebration of uncensored free speech. frankspeech.com. Mike Lindell is launching a new program, but also mypillow.com. If you enter the code SPIRIT, you can get a discount on world-class products. So I wanted to get that out of the way because we want to help those that are being attacked, and we can counterpunch that attack by supporting people like Mike Lindell.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody, listen. I just want to say, I'm going to say a couple things here, Ted. First of all, make sure that you go to My Pillow. Make sure that you go to mypillow.com, click on the radio listener special. Make sure you use the promo code SPIRIT. And listen, it is important that you do it. My Pillow is supporting the show. They're fueling it. They're allowing us. They're allowing us to be able to do this. And you really want to support it. So go to mypillow.com, click on radio listener special, use the promo code. Please. Now, listen to me. I want to tell you, Ted, there are a lot of people dealing with the world right now in various ways. A lot of people, unfortunately, feel they're like glued to their phones. They're glued to their TVs. They're like getting updates about all the insanity going on. I have gone the other way. And I have said, you know what? I'm not checking the news. I don't know. I don't need to check the news. I'll catch up on it maybe once a day at the end of the day. I'll hear about it, but I don't need a minute-by-minute play-by-play of what's going on in the country. And here's what I did. So today, what I did is I said, I'm going to seize the day. So look at this. Go full screen with this. Look at this beautiful motorcycle.
It's a rocket ship.
Look at that. That is a Zero SRS electric motorcycle. Wow. It goes 0 to 120 faster than any other bike on the road.
It's electric.
The electric. It is no gears, no clutch, electric, pull the throttle, boom, you're out. And you want to know what I did after that? So I got my bike and I rode it. Here we go. Look at me. Look at Johnny go. This is what I did. This was my afternoon. I was wake surfing all afternoon. Rode my motorcycle to wake surfing, having a total blast. And now I'm doing Spirit Campfire with my good friend Ted Nugent. I had dinner with my family. In-laws are in town. Kids are beautiful and bright. My wife is amazing. In-laws are great. Played some golf with my neighbors the other day. Like I went to a baby shower. Life is grand. Surrounded by people who I love, who love me, who love our family, and doing stuff I genuinely love. Now, everyone is going to say, and Ted, I'm going to ask you a question that you may or may not have ever been asked. But everybody said, well, why would you get a motorcycle? I'm turning 50 this year. I've got 2 kids, got a wife, have a great career, I'm in perfectly fine health. Why would you get a motorcycle? And you want to know why?
Why not?
Because I feel so focused and in the moment when riding a motorcycle.
Sure.
Like you cannot be looking at your phone, you can't be wandering your mind, you got to be in it. And that feeling of doing anything like wake surfing or hunting or playing your guitar where you have to be in it, I want more of that in my life. Now the question is, well, that's really dangerous, right? It's incredibly dangerous. Yes, it is dangerous. But I'm going to tell you, and I ask you, Ted Nugent, you want to know the God's honest truth? I live a clean and sober life. I have 2 beautiful children. I have a wonderful wife. Will I die via motorcycle? Probably not. I'm probably going to die some bizarre, I'm probably going to choke on a peanut or something.
Don't choke on a peanut, John. That'd be embarrassing.
It would be embarrassing. But God forbid, Ted, God forbid if right now, whether or not it was COVID or a meteor or some, insect, if something took your life right now, just God forbid, it would be terrible. But do you feel like you've lived your life to the fullest and it was out of your control when you died? You just died when you died. But do you feel like you lived your life to the fullest?
Beyond. I could not have imagined living a life this adventurous, this gratifying, surrounded by such wonderful people. If you just look at it, it started with my family. I've been a welder. By the way, I wish I had been a welder. I really value good welds. But let's say it just started out with family. What a wonderful upbringing. I have the loving parents and brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Just a crazy shit Detroit neighborhood. So if that was the foundation that brought me gratification and sense of fulfillment. That would have been enough. Now you add to that I met this guy, Fred Bear, in the woods, Michigan, and I was already a bow hunting guy. You add the mystical flight of the arrow and the conservation lifestyle. Then adding to that the unbelievable caliber of musicians that pursued my musical dreams, my musical collaboration. Every bandmate from Tom Null and Pete Prim, John Finley, and John Brake with the Lourdes back in Detroit in 1959, 1960, and then going on with all the amazing musicians, and then get to race off road, then finally see the culture war coming to just toxic levels, and writing a book called God, Guns and Rock and have it become a New York Times bestseller. And I could go on. You could tell that I'm not bragging, I'm celebrating. I mean, I literally identified a dream, and I bonzo after that dream, and I don't really care if it's a monetary success, that you didn't have to sell 4 million albums to have a musical dream. Just playing at the Bat Cave in Arlington, Illinois, back in '64, that would have been musically gratifying. To the level that I have, you talk about carpe diem, you grasp day. I mean, John, we've only known each other a short time, but if anybody grasps the day on a daily basis, even when I'm sick, I live such an incredible life. That being said, the culmination to your question, my answer is that I have at least 25 more opening days I have planned, because a lot of my young bucks are they're just being born, and it'll be at least 5 years till the trophies. So I got to live at least under 25 years, because my musical ideas, my music pursuits, the time with my incredible wife Shemaine, my kids and my grandkids, the communication that we're able to achieve during the culture war against things that you and I believe in, we're able to kind of counterpunch and get the truth out there. And now with Mike Lindell's frank speech, it looks like an override censorship and the control by the enemies of freedom. So these are exciting, adventurous times, and it's not like your decision. At the 10, if you're 50 years old or 50, 52?
I'm 50.
50. What? 50? Yeah, you kidding me? You haven't warmed up yet, kid. This is the perfect time to get on a cycle. And yes, it's dangerous. But you know what, John Brenkus? A motorcycle might be dangerous, but when you do a spirit campfire with Ted Nugent, you know real danger.
I do know real danger. People say, what's interesting is people would say, as many people have said to me, why would you buy a motorcycle? And there are a lot of people like, why are you doing a podcast with Ted Nugent? The answer to both of them is
both of them.
I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
It doesn't go beyond that. I'm like, it reflects me having fun. It's amazing. Ted, I have a quick story for you on that I just found really interesting. So you just had your auction, and we just talked about how objects have energy, and you had, you're running. Look, the reason why you got COVID is because you're running around, right? Just like every other year of your life, you run around and you used to get a cold or a flu or whatever, and you picked up COVID somewhere. Yeah. Who knows, right? Like it just happened. So that's why we're not having a funeral march, because I highly doubt COVID is it. But you're going to be fine. Long story short,
I'm going to be fine. I have all the confidence in the world.
Yeah, you're going to be fine. Here's what's interesting: objects. My grandfather used to say, and he pounded this into my head. He said, everything that matters in your life should fit into a briefcase. It's like, and he had a briefcase, and he used to carry that thing around, and it had a shirt in it, underwear, a pair of pants, and a couple newspaper clippings that were really important. One of those was when his wife died, and when my mom was very young, and it was a newspaper, and that's it. And he just said everything else is just extra weight in your life. It wasn't against owning things. He was just saying, does it actually matter? It doesn't actually matter, because you're not going to take it with you. enjoy it while you have it. But God, if you have to like pick up and move, which I've done many times, you pick up and you say, well, what do I need? That little briefcase of life. My grandfather passed away, God rest his soul. He's up in heaven somewhere. But he, you know what? He lived with us, with our family for a very long time. You know what? I'll be damned. He actually only had what he had in that briefcase. That was it. And he lived a great life.
Is very, very gratifying. I know, and I'm surrounded here in man's cave nest with such accumulation of stuff in life. I could go into the details of where a lot of it came from, because I've always been so outspoken about the controversial things in life in this culture, where God, family, country, freedom. Certainly the Second Amendment. I've been the number one voice on planet Earth for the Second Amendment at least the last 50 years, and that's some people go, yeah, number one voice. Well, yes, is irrefutable. I promoted the Second Amendment more places than all of humans combined. If you really up all the VH1 and the CMT and the MTV, CNN, and the ABC, CBS, I mean, I've literally been everywhere promoting it where no one else had the balls to promote it. So my point is a lot of these cars, all the bows and arrows, almost every gun I have, they were gifted to me. As a thank you. I mean, I met a guy the other day that gave me a knife. He said, I want you to have this because you're the only guy who stood up for my Second Amendment rights, and I've been watching you since 1975. So I'm not a consumer, really. I mean, I got trucks, and here's one for you. Look at this. I don't know if you guys can see this.
Oh, yeah.
That's
a Bronco?
Ford Bronco.
Yeah.
That been the guys at Texas Metal Extensive in Houston, they're finalizing the build of my state of the art beast Bronco. That is, I mean, so yeah, it's material goods. But I think an old off-road like me should be able to have a couple of Broncos. The point being is that if you follow me around, a lot of people go, you only one shirt. No, I have 3 of these.
Right.
I just
exactly
stuff every day. I wear shoes every day until they fall off.
I mean,
I the same knife I got here. I got a wallet I've had for over 30 years, and I actually fortify it with tape. Now I buy a new wallet if I wanted, but this thing sticks because I put orange duct tape on. My point being is you said your grandpa with the briefcase.
Yep.
Well, that holds true to today. I've always said to people, if you don't buy tobacco and drugs and alcohol or tattoos or piercings, aftershave. I've never understood aftershave. Why do I want to smell like a French whore? I mean, I've never bought aftershave.
French horn? I didn't know that French horn smelled like aftershave.
Well, the aftershave I smell on some guys, the same thing I in Paris one night.
What kind of French horns have you been hanging around?
I got a funny feeling you use aftershave. Break that.
I don't. No. I don't like any. Do you want to know what I'm going to tell a secret. Wait. Time for Spirit Campfire secret. This is the God's honest truth. All right. First of all, I hate the smell of aftershave. I'm with you on that. But I think men's products in general, like men's deodorant, they stink. And I have been using since I was young, I use secret deodorant that's, I guess, made for women, unscented, because it actually works. And you want to know what? In doing sports science with thousands of amazing athletes, you would be shocked how many athletes use secret unscented. I'm like, it is a secret. I don't know why it's saying it says strong enough for a man, but made for a woman. No, it's strong enough for a man and made for
people. It's made for people. If you're so yeah, the things I know I've mentioned many times, but if you keep things simple, I mean, the reason I had the issue, and once again, thanks to Rob Burley and Tim Bucker and Ashley and everybody, we really streamlined my accumulation by hundreds of cars and guns and trucks. Yeah. And memorabilia and finalia and accoutrements. So really streamlined and back it down. I'll never get everything in a briefcase, Brenkus, but I do aspire to and succeed at the reduction of accumulated material goods. The point where I keep pragmatic, and keep the stuff that I can use. And quite honestly, I autograph bows and arrows and gun parts throughout the year to donate charity fundraisers for kids and military, law enforcement, and conservation charity. So I give off way more than I take in. It does things simple. So a big to your grandpa. I think grandpa was a lot like that.
Grandpa was, let me tell you something. Grandpa was a principled, stubborn man. He didn't change his mind about anything in my lifetime, certainly as long as I knew him. He was a stubborn man. He was he was first generation, immigrating from Poland. And I'll tell you one thing about all the photos that I saw of my family. They were Polish and Russian. All the families that I saw of sort of the families together, man, did they not smile. They were just like, dude, hard winters. Hard
back then, life was hard, and it was
hard.
We had to laugh or smile about. I mean, I'll never forget. Henning Johansson, my grandpa, my mom's mother and father, Henning and Rachel Johansson, came from Sweden, and they learned to speak English right away, so they could be asset to their neighbors. And he started working on the Chicago skyline as a carpenter, and became very famous and very successful at that. When I say famous, not rich, and not known as a publicly known carpenter. In the world of construction, Henning Johansson was rock solid in the asset column. Let's talk about that iteration for a second, because I see them immediately more and more. They did some interview with George W. Bush. What a prick. What a bad man he is. He goes, well, I think we need to realign the thought and the consideration of immigration, so we more embracing. Hey, dipwad, already embrace immigration. Nobody has an argument about immigration. We're against illegal immigration. We're all for immigration. We love people that go to the bank and draw from their own account. That's banking. Somebody robs the bank. We're against that. See, they're all playing these politically correct games, but somewhere, somehow, anybody is against immigration. Yeah, no, it's against immigration. We all welcome immigration. This is a nation of immigrants. My grandpa, your grandpa, they immigrate. But guess how they did it? Legally. So let's clarify that. And here's another example in 2021. Call your senator and your congressman and your governor and let them know, hey, I don't know what the BS is about, but nobody's against immigration, Mr. Mayor. We're against illegal immigration, Mr. Mayor. Do you got that? But when we fail to express that glaring identification, differentiating between legal stuff and illegal stuff, then you have these dirt bags, the President Bush coming out and going, we need to learn to embrace immigration. We've always embraced immigration. We're against invasion, especially when they shut down the school. Don't take care of our vets. We have homeless increasing all the time. Millions of people break into our country, even plane tickets, money, clothes, and food sent in without any kind of testing at all. Who could rationalize that? Who could say that's a good idea?
Yeah, here's one thing that I'm going to see if the audience out there agrees with me or not. First of all, I really love the new term that you came up with. I've never heard someone call someone else a dipwad.
A dipwad.
Dipwad. It's a compound word.
It is. I like that compound word.
I like that. But here's what I believe 2020 is going to be remembered for. I'm going to say that 2020 will be remembered as the definitive death of truth, death of science, death of debate, death of whatever it is that you want to put it there. What it is that, there used to be a wait a minute. Hold on a second.
You've never looked more handsome, John. I gotta tell you.
I know. I'm like, gotta Weird.
Your camera dying on you. I'm getting.
You know
all
what?
kinds of- I am being literally bombarded, John and Herbert and Courtney, with people that saw a promotion of tonight campfire where I admitted that I was tested positive. And they're all sending love. And let me comment on that before you go on, John. Where was it? I think I did a Facebook Live in Florida, and I was talking about not feeling well. Oh, I canceled my Ted Nugent Greasy Speezy. I said I just wasn't feeling up to it, which is so completely unprecedented in my life. I've never ever canceled a gig or a jam session. In fact, people that I really love in my life recommended I do not do the campfire. But you can tell I'm improvising, adapting to overcome, and I still got energy, and the adrenaline's making me rather entertaining, keeping up my old bad self. The point being, in John, love, the empathy, people. Thousands of people. Ted, we're praying for you. Hope you get better. You go ahead and take care of yourself. We can do a jam anytime. The most important thing for you to take care of yourself. From people never met on Facebook, tens of thousands of people get better. You don't have to jam. Your health is more important than anything. What a nice thing to say. And it's literally everywhere. So to everybody that cares about the old guitar player's health, thank you. Your love and your empathy and support, it's so fulfilling to me. You asked a little while ago, John, if I've lived a good life. If that's an indicator that people give a damn about you, what a great relationship that is. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. You know what? The point that I was also trying to make about I'm just going to call it the death of, and I'm going to stick a word in there and say science. Because science encompasses a whole lot of things. And I was having a discussion with a friend, and my friend was absolutely convinced that the worldwide death rate has skyrocketed.
Yeah, nuts.
And I just said, listen, here's the only way that we're going to be able to settle this. I can find you 200 articles that says that proclaims that worldwide death rate has not skyrocketed. And you can find 200 articles that actually declares that the worldwide death rate has skyrocketed. And we're just going to wind up in the middle where you got to make up your mind. Right now, I can't even tell you which way is up, because if I Google which way is up, I'll find 20 articles that says this way and 20 articles that says this way. And you have to use your own brain to figure out, well, which one do I believe?
Yeah.
It's the death of absolute, just obvious stuff that we're now debating. And one side is not allowed to debate it. The other side must be right. You can look up and find any fact that you want. It just was never like this. And it was interesting how, if you remember, and Ted, I know that you know this lore even better than I do, but the reason why the Native American Indians were so concerned about settlers coming into their camps was because largely they're outsiders, there's all that, but they had technology that was different than theirs. And if you remember a movie called The Gods Must Be Crazy, it was about an Aboriginal tribe that picked up a Coke bottle.
Yeah.
And how all the tribe just disintegrated because the Coke bottle now was a tool that they otherwise didn't have. When the rise of the internet and the rise of social media, a lot of this was predictable, that we would wind up in a spot where we do have too much information, and now nobody can decide what's right. And now you have opinions that are facts that are issued as opposed to tested. And now you're not allowed. It seems like it was kind of predictable that this would ultimately happen.
Yeah, I think the death is one of trust. I think up until, and certainly throughout the history of this experiment in self-government, the government scam artists turned on the people enough times where we had to rectify the corruption and the criminality. It had to be at its worst right now in 2021. I don't believe, and I wish we could have an open mic in the very next few spirit campfires, John Courtney. I would really like to open it up to viewers and the listeners. Come on, have a dialogue, a counterpoint or a point. It's going to be hard to find someone to disagree. Glaring, self-evident truth that we celebrate on this show and that I promote and celebrate in my daily life. But it can be summarized with who trusts the FDA? Who trusts the CDC? Who possibly trusts the USDA? Who could possibly trust the Bureau of Land Management? Who could possibly trust the United States Fish and Wildlife Service? And for people who are wondering why I'm asking these questions, because I have overwhelming, irrefutable evidence how they scam and they lie. Let's take the USDA, which takes billions of our tax dollars to prop up the agriculture department of our country, the great farm and the ranchers and the dairy farmers. God bless them all, hard workers. But how many billions do you subsidize them with, and then more billions that you purchase their products, keep the pricing false, artificial. I mean, I go into the gory details. People need to look at stuff. CDC, virtually untrustworthy. The health organization, communist organization against America. U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. You're going to jail if you even run over an eagle. But they're going to install these wind turbines that kill thousands and thousands of eagle, hawks, and owls, and waterfowl, and endangered species. So right now we are at a crossroads where thinking, knowledgeable, engaged Americans virtually distrust any government agency, especially guys like the FBI. And I know there's some good agents out there. Why the hell aren't blowing whistles? What kind of FBI agent punk, jackbooted punk would Roger Stone's home before dawn with machine guns dressed like you're going up against Taliban? Who kind of soulless punk would obey that order? Because I know the oath of the Constitution that these guys take. My point, this is the most painful and heartbreaking time in America where good, knowledgeable citizens who do the research and look into the information, we virtually distrust a government who would watch Joe Biden fumble to form a sentence and then dare try to look in the eye and go, yeah, that guy won the election, and yeah, he's the commander-in-chief. Yeah, that guy guy who beat Oz mumbling, that who can't cognizant a piece of sentence together. That's the leader of the world. Kiss my ass.
Well, Ted, listen. Here's what I think we need to do. Hold on.
I think John, you've never looked. I'm telling you, if I could get a make job like that, I would do it post haste. There he is.
There I am. Hey, here's what we should do. I think we're having like a couple of audio problems. Why don't you pick up your guitar? We're gonna end the show a little early tonight. Let's jam. Let's just like make a little campfire jam session, and call it a night. Go to bed a little bit earlier than normal.
I think I will. Listen to the lyrics. It goes. I think I know your condition. I've been down that road before. Man, it's just superstition, babe. But there's one little I got to stop. I got to have this good friends, a bottle of wine. Good friends, show me the time. Good friends and a bottle of wine. So glad I got baby. Maybe I like to crave. Maybe I like to scream. Maybe my vision gets hazy, baby. One little I got to have some good friends, bottle of wine. Good friends, show me the good time. Good friends and a bottle of wine. So glad I got to be. Here's the verse right here, John. You know that life is moments, sometimes up, sometimes down. Identify your opponents, babe, and gather all your good friends round. And I got them some good friends, bottle of wine. Good friends, show me good time. Good friends and a bottle of wine. So glad I got what I got, baby. So glad got me alive. Good friends, bottle of wine.
All righty. Ted, we're going to sign off a few minutes early tonight. Everybody, say a little prayer for Uncle Ted. He's just sick. He's sick. He's going to be fine, but, never hurts to pray. We will see you, both of us will see you next Monday on the Spirit Campfire.
And once again, I'm going to celebrate FullCircleProgram.com. Visit that, FullCircleProgram.com. It's a perfect example of how we, the people, reach out to our fellow Americans and help them in time of need. Good friends and a bottle of wine. Godspeed, John. God's Courtney, Herbert, everybody. Live it up. Thanks for all your prayers, everybody. I appreciate it much. But you know what? Your prayers are going to come to fruition, and I'm going to be even more dangerous next than I was last week. God help us all.